Yeah.
Had to get it out of my system.
So, day 0 was our leaving
Well,
base camp
getting from Spanaway
to
Walla Walla, topping off the tanks, and getting on the trail.
leading to what was, without a question, the best campsite
we
of the entire damn trip. We set the bar so high that we couldn't top it again.
Bug-free,
And we knew it too.
epic views.
Milky Way.
Kind of a fun little technical drop in.
And climb out of.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
what 20, 30 feet of a little bit of rock at a nice little angle, 10, 15 degree angle.
Got you able to figure out the trailer a little bit.
Yeah.
Reminded that there are different modes to use.
Nice ridgeline climbing up to that site. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
that was a good day.
That actually should have been our first hint that mapping was going to be messed up, because right after we got off the first road,
But no.
It was foreshadowing, right?
but little did we know. So we carried on.
I got
up
to
the
see
top,
the
found
Milky
it.
Way for the very first time, and shooting stars.
Oh man, the roof on your tent on your Jeep with the skylights, having that open up, you know, just laying there in bed staring at the sky.
Pretty
Oh.
damn epic.
It's rough, roughing it.
McMansion.
McMansion.
Hey, it's not a McMansion when you have 3 dogs and 2 teenagers below rustling around. It kind of diminishes the McMansion a hair.
But it's still the McMansion.
It is.
Yeah. It's the first campsite. You had a little bit of firewood. Had you pulled the firewood out of?
I think I pulled a couple pieces to help get the fire started.
Okay, you pulled a little bit out of your trasheroo. Otherwise, it was stuff from the site, which was okay.
It was a little waterlogged.
There was a lot of it. It was damp because a lot of it had just been sitting on the ground, and that was high enough up. Dew point was probably getting a little bit damp.
And the snow it wasn't long gone.
No, not at all.
Day 0 was long day.
Well, what was that? Drive from Spanaway to Walla Walla was what? 400?
More than that.
500? 400 or 500?
Yeah, 400 or 500 miles. And then it was hours. It was a lot of hours.
Yeah.
We were lucky to find that site that early. That's for sure. Always go down the side roads.
Starting out with the young buck coming through campus, we're packing up.
Yeah, he just was coming right through.
He was not terribly afraid, although Dale took a lot of interest in him.
So day 1 was a pretty calm drive, right?
Yep.
There were a couple of, I think that was the,
not a whole lot of technicalities.
and that was day 1.
We ran across dude with his 40-some inch super swampers, saying just go through the middle and give it gas. And my idiocy didn't get out and look.
Because we forgot to turn cameras on when you went through the mud, and Josh was like, "Oh, we should have watched this." Yeah, see, that was exactly what occurred after that.
Yeah.
My mind's got them mixed up. For some reason, I was thinking we camped twice north of there. The second camp was south of 84, right?
Was it? Yeah, it did, because we had to keep going.
We had to keep going. There was nothing.
We crossed those train tracks, and then we just had cows.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
There were just cows.
And so then we
cows
hit
and
the
cows.
meadow, and we decided, okay, that we checked, there wasn't enough. The cow pies were old enough. We figured we were okay. We kept hearing this cow bellowing and bellowing.
That was a good day. It was because we still had some good. I think we still had some good
That
views.
was not a bad campsite. Little more bug.
little more bug.
Nothing to write.
Epic fajitas that night.
Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah.
fajita night.
Did we get any decent pictures
I don't
of
know.
the scottled?
Yes, yes, Josh. Josh came through.
If we did, they're on the screen right
video.
now. That night we were two for with drone flying.
Yeah. So we
No fire that night.
No, that's right. We didn't have a fire that night.
fire that night.
We couldn't. There was nothing.
There wasn't a ring. We weren't going to make one.
Yeah.
There was the grass was all
plus
dry.
it was a meadow full, a dry ridge top meadow.
Yeah, that was just
that would have been stupid.
that would
Yeah,
have been
the
very
first
dumb.
part might have made some bad decisions.
Because
become
remember,
reality.
kids, only you can help prevent forest fires. That was a decent night. Got up the next day.
The next
So day 2.
Ukiah.
Oh, Ukiah.
We went south for a bit, right?
Yeah.
And then
We needed to refuel. We needed water, ice.
yeah, because
and
what?
petrol.
How much water have we been? We have a capacity of
A little over 25 gallons.
about,
And we've
about
got
25 pounds.
6 human,
Six adults. So that right, it's
6
us
adults,
four, the
2
two
large
teenagers.
dogs, and 1 little guy.
So we're going through about 10 gallons a day.
Yeah.
So we've got about 2 days without refilling. 3 if you top everything off when you top off your jugs. And then that's when I realized that I had a break in my caliper.
A rock.
A break in your caliper?
Break in my caliper.
You mean a rock in your brake
a rock in my
caliper?
brake caliper.
So
That's
we
what
were
I
overfilling the jugs at the city park like she told us to.
Yep.
And-
I think the maintenance guy for the city was going through.
Yeah, he was. He told us.
Told us we should pull up around the other side, use the water.
It was
In the
colder.
shade. And it was in the shade.
Yep. Headed back to
So
LeGrand.
we're worried about the rock in the brake caliper or whatever it was.
Whatever it
we
was.
weren't certain what it was.
It sounded like a rock in the brake
So
caliper.
we figured let's go from Ukiah back to LeGrand. And I'm like, well, it looks like there might be a way to, there's this road, might be a way to cut through. So let's pull off. We get up onto a side.
We look at all the maps. We look at lots of maps. And all of the maps had 2 roads that should have gotten us through.
The road I'd pulled us off for, that I thought might get us through,
Right.
wasn't a go.
We said no.
But once we figured out a route, we had to go back through Ukiah.
Yes,
Right.
that's
So we had
right.
doubled back again, had to go back through Ukiah. We waved, we were friendly. Pulled off past the park that we had stopped at, gotten all the water and cooled off, had some lunch, and start heading south out of Ukiah. And then you would come up with a route, beautiful ridgeline views. I mean,
and
great.
the smell from the
fresh rain.
Oh, the fresh
it was
thunderstorm.
freaking
It was neat.
epic.
And we're driving along, driving through the woods, and I'm seeing what looks to be fresh. That's really fresh. That's greenwood. And I'm driving along, and then I'm looking out the window, just kind of, and I'm like, that tree's missing its top.
It was
It's got a
everywhere.
spiral down. Whoa. Josh, you got to come back here. And fresh lightning strike tree.
That's cool.
It was
So we all got to
pretty
walk up. I think we got some video of that.
cool. Yes, we did.
Yep.
It smelled
And some pictures.
really neat too.
Yeah, no, and there were pieces of wood everywhere.
That would
The
not
radius.
have been a very fun, it would have been exciting, but not fun to have been there when that lightning hit that tree.
Even in the cars.
Up on this ridge, we're looking
Oh,
down
freaking
the
dead-end
beautiful view
roads.
and realizing
Dead
there's
end
not a
roads
single
everywhere.
road that's going to magically take us off of this ridge down across over.
There are dead
Nothing.
ends everywhere.
And we looked around. We found the one road that should have gone through, but we probably would have been fine because I made it down damn near to the end of the road, but it was like this wide,
Yeah.
right? And I was going through murder bushes.
That was a cow trail.
Yeah, and then so I turned around and went back, and then I found another way, and then it went up and it went up and it went up to a meadow, and it had a road. Hey, the maps show there's a road going right through here. There was no road, and you could see the semblance of the road. You could see the gate, and so I kind of stayed on what I could tell used to be the road. but it was just fallen trees and down big branches everywhere, and it clearly hadn't been used in a long time.
Yeah.
So we had to backtrack quite a bit.
No. What was that night?
That was the night we dry camped. It was in the forest, and it hailed.
Oh, that's because we went through.
No. But the campsites we were thinking about using that we were rejoining.
Right on the
we
river.
were trying to aim
We're
for that.
right down on the river, but logging.
No, it was a
Nope.
rancher.
It
Was
was
it
the
a rancher?
rancher.
He had fenced off and put
it off
free
and
barbed
said we
wire
couldn't go
everywhere,
in.
That's right.
saying you couldn't go down the forest road.
He was
Okay.
being aggressive.
Was the logging the next day?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
You get
So yeah, National Forest Service Road,
Through the middle of a ranch.
and he's like,
you can't.
mine. And it's like, no, you probably got grazing rights here, not.
So we
Yeah,
bypassed that.
And we bypass that. We go through the whole thing, and
Tripped
then
off on. We tripped off on into the forest, and we actually. It wasn't a bad little
Again, some
campsite.
really nice ridge site views. Some prior burn area, probably what, 2 years?
no,
prior?
maybe a little farther. It was probably a little further.
But
Longer
then we
ago.
got
Within
into
within the last decade.
we found a spot, and we hear the thunder rolling again because the storm's been chasing us, and we set that awning up.
That awning earned its keep.
that day.
Sure did.
But yeah, for the
it
rain.
really earned its keep for that.
Oh yeah, and hail.
Yeah, we actually had
Hail.
to set it up properly that night, that night because the rain was pooling, and we had to go and cinch things down and put the guidelines in and all of that. But fortunately, it stopped raining.
But that
we got-
didn't rain on us after that.
But then we
Yeah.
got 3 for 3
Yeah.
drone footage.
Yeah,
And we
that
had
was
a
3 for 3.
campfire.
And one of the shots on the drone, I love that shot. He's focused down on the campsite, and he just lifts up across the forest. And as he's tilting from a straight down shot up to the horizon, and trees forever, and you start kind of going, we're really alone out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
in
this
the middle of
beautiful,
nowhere.
just top of green, because that was like a whole forest, real thin,
Real
full
thin, real
trees,
tall.
but really dense.
Very
Right.
dense.
And so that I love that shot. I really.
What was that? That was the morning. What, day 3?
This
No,
is
yeah, day
the
three.
start of
This
day
is the start
3.
of
We
day
got
3.
up late.
Oh, late. And we like poked around. We were like, I don't think we've leisurely didn't quite cover house.
No, leisurely. That kind of.
It set us back, but I think there were other difficulties later that set us back even more
Yeah.
than that day.
So we start hauling out of there.
We were heading for Sumter. That was our refill day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we stopped
that
in
was our day to
Sumter.
get gas and
The morning was beautiful. The day was nice. Lunch was great in Sumter. The burger joint that we stopped at was great.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cracked fries. Oh my gosh.
Nice people.
Clean
Clean
bathrooms.
bathrooms.
We had
Was
had
not
a.
expecting a veggie burger in Sumter.
We may have taken a little too long doing that.
Well, yeah. No,
yeah, we did. We spent way too much time in Sumter.
It was a nice covered park. But yeah, topped off water, topped off petrol, got some ice, got some lunch,
Lunch and
back
run
on the
away.
road.
Yep.
That.
Stopped, took some pictures of the dredge.
Yep.
Yes.
In
Oh,
Sumter.
yeah.
We
Real quick. It was a real quick.
we should have.
We should have cut our time at the park shorter and got a little bit more dredge time.
Yeah, that would have been. I think that would have been a
That would have been
worthwhile.
better. But then the day went downhill from there. That was the day of the log trucks.
What was that?
That
we were
was the
trying to
day.
find a campsite
We
that
were-
night.
We came across
Now-
that was when John handed me the maps and started
Well,
trying
the
to have
maps
me read
started
them.
getting a little bit weirder.
But
we
you-
hadn't noticed how the maps were leading us astray.
But
or,
that
or
was
getting weird because we had to do some. We had to adjust them around them, like the
but
Ukiah
that
side
was
trip and whatnot.
that was the first time you handed me the maps, and so I was reading ahead, and I spotted 3 campsites that looked like potential places to spend the night. So we thought, okay, we'll go check them out because we needed to cut a little time off. So we hit the hardball and went and cut a corner, and then we were going to look at these 3
And then we were
campsites.
following up the trails. Hold on. I think we had a dog incident.
So we looked at, I found the campsites and we thought, okay, we'll go look at those and we'll find a spot for the night. Yeah, when we pulled off onto the trail, it had logging.
Well, and it wasn't just logging.
They had brush piles in the campsite.
Yeah.
Brush
And
piles,
the campsites were right on the road.
and the whole forest was burned out.
Yeah, it was freaking
I mean,
ugly.
recently, like last year, had torched the place, and all of our maps and all of our everything None of the stuff that
none of our GPSs were all of our digital maps, all of our printed maps. Now, this is where I think we were starting to realize we didn't do good. We didn't go grab ourselves fresh.
Well, no, I don't think that the
or maybe we weren't there yet.
I don't think we were there yet. And
We were
I think
not.
that the issue that was when we were starting to realize
We started to get frustrated.
Right, but I think that's when we started to realize that the maps that we purchased were not as up to date
As
they claimed.
They
right?
claim they reviewed them and verified them every year.
And that's just
And
not
they
true.
weren't. They
No.
weren't. So
No.
they were. I mean, supposedly the road went this way. There,
It wasn't there
the
at all.
Forest Service had bermed that road. It
Long
wasn't
ago.
going
So
anywhere.
it's not a fresh
That
berm.
wasn't a fresh berm. No, that wasn't this year's berm. That was sometime. Now, because of the logging activity, there was a really nice graded gravel road peeling up around the ridge. It looked like it went nowhere near the direction we wanted.
And it was the way we needed to go.
And it's like, well, let's try it.
Well, and so we started.
After sitting there on the corner, kind of going, are we going to get plowed by another log truck?
Another.
After
You missed that. So we're sitting there trying to look at the campsite.
Did I have my dash cam going?
I don't know.
I had my dash cam
Maybe
going.
I had mine going. If we did, we're inserting that picture
Because
right now.
holy hell, I don't think I've ever let out a
Unfortunately, we didn't
stream
have
of
an
expletives.
inward-facing cam at the time, watching the faces of you two.
Or the rest of us, we were all sliding down the road. Josh hit his brakes, I hit my brakes. John hit the brakes, and we were all sliding up that road. And that auger's like, "What? What are you doing here?"
So we're pulling up around that ridge. Beautiful views.
But it was burned
out, but still beautiful vistas.
And we had
pulling around.
clue.
It's like, and then we look up the road. It's like, there's our road number. That's the Forest Service road we're supposed to be on right now.
And then as we keep going, we're in the area that we had in the zone that was originally slated for find a spot. And you're in that active logging area, and
it's active logging, burnout, and just off, I think it was the north side of the road.
Wilderness.
Wilderness area.
Right, just
We
like
were kind of
15
boxed
feet
in
off
on-
the road,
we
so
were
we can't go
boxed
in
in on
that
all
way with the
sides.
trucks.
Right.
So it's either south side or the road.
And I remember making the comment, I didn't care if I did dinner in the dark. We were not staying in the after. No, we were not staying in the log.
But we did eventually get. I mean, we wound it out and we got through.
It was
and
quarry. That was
we
the
did
night
find a
quarry.
quarry, and
That was actually a decent little campsite.
It was a good spot.
It looked like an annual hunter's campsite.
I liked
It did. It had a nice.
There were no
It was a
bugs.
nice high
There were no bugs.
fire pit. We had a
Nice
because
breeze
of
up
the
there.
great breeze that
That
came
was an
through.
awesome fire pit.
Yeah, and
We
it
tore it apart a little bit to get some leveling
leveling
stones for the trucks.
for the trucks.
They'll find them. They'll rebuild it. It'll be fine.
But it was great. It was nice. It was open. There were no bugs because of the breeze. There's places to go, look around, explore, take some pictures, see what's up. It was a good spot.
You got to drone that night, didn't you?
Yeah, no.
You got to drone
Up until
that
this
night?
point, I had droned every day.
Right.
I had a drone at every campsite, a drone shot of every campsite.
That was a good one. I like that site.
I like
Yeah.
that one.
That one was good.
That was a good sight.
And we got up the next day, and started down our road. And I think day 4 was the day we realized there was something very, very, very wrong with the maps. That was the day of trees. We'd gone about 10 minutes.
So when
And we started with
The day of
chainsaw.
trees.
Well, yeah, the day of trees. So we were leaving. Now, to be fair, right? So the group we got the maps from, they give you these nice bound paper maps with all of the trails and GPS points on them, et cetera, et cetera. And then they give you what are probably the worst GPS tracks I've ever seen for anybody ever. And this was, I don't know, I got these maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and so I had to go through and interpret the GPS tracks with the maps, and I kind of had to put them together, so they weren't all right.
Well, and you're running off your GPS trying to put together a track.
I'm doing it in my software.
Well, yeah, but you're trying to put a track using the road data you have in your software to tie those points together and say, okay, these are the Forest Service roads that we're actually going to use to get.
And
between those
I
points.
tried to look at them with the books, and I'm sure there were clearly some mistakes involved. Clearly.
Well, and a lot of these forests apparently had a lot more dynamic national forest roads as to which ones the Forest Service wanted open, which ones the Forest Service had moved. So, they're not static forests.
No.
And
But
so
they
the
did.
maps, our maps
So we had
some dating to them,
We had-
which didn't help.
what did we have? We had 3 or 4 trees cleared that day.
Well, we did a bunch of small
we
ones, which was
started-
like, okay, this is a little bit fun. This is a little bit fun.
We started about 20 minutes up the road. You guys pulled out the chainsaw for the first tree, and we're like,
For the
"This
first
is
tree. And it was
great!"
a great little thing, and it's we brought a
Woohoo!
chainsaw.
We got a
this year.
chainsaw.
And then about 10 minutes later, there was another
There
one.
was another one.
And about 10 minutes after that, there was another
There was
one.
another one. And then we had a break, and we
Yeah.
ended up down in this
and we're working through this
really great area.
beautiful
Yeah.
forest, old, real
Old,
old.
old timber.
Old
look-
timber, grassy, knee deep grass.
Oh, beautiful little area. Definitely
Chipmunks,
like
lots of
rangeland,
chipmunks.
and some old fences and whatnot.
Moss-covered
And
fences,
we're
definitely
and then
overmentioned.
we stop. We have a quick little rest there. Quick bite to eat, was it? No,
I think we
no.
had a snack. We had an apple.
Quick snack, and then we drive down the road a little bit longer, and
Like
we
a couple
found
minutes.
the tree.
The tree.
The tree. We brought with us not a 50-inch chainsaw,
No.
a 16.
To be fair, I think
It's a nice little
a
chainsaw.
32-inch probably would have worked.
It would have been faster, but the 16 inches, no complaints about the
No.
chainsaw. Nice chainsaw, fresh blade,
Yep.
or fresh chain on
Chain, yeah.
it. So, good everything. You had plenty of fuel, plenty of bar oil. So we weren't ill prepared. We were just under-prepared for that
I mean,
tree.
the tree was like 3 feet around.
We didn't have the cargo room, otherwise I would have tried to pull one of the wedges that we cut out of it, throw it in the rig, because it was a beaut.
It was big.
Gorgeous tree.
2
yeah.
hours. it
2
took
hours
us.
to clear
Worst
that tree.
thing is it wasn't just blocking the road sideways. It had
at an
so
angle.
the road was going down around, and it had come basically fallen almost like up the road at us. So
And there was the debris from the branches and everything was on both sides of the road. So
So
we
that was
couldn't-
step one, was clear out all the debris and kind of figure out what are we going to do. Of course, we cleared all the debris where we later realized we wanted to drive through. But yeah, we had to cut out such a much longer section of that tree to get a passable width for
Yep.
the trucks. To cut it out, we had to wedge both sides to get through it, because the 16-inch bar wasn't going to go. I mean, if we sunk it straight through, but that was a dense tree.
We wouldn't have. I tried. Yeah, we even straight through, we wouldn't have.
I had to keep kind of working.
It would have bound and broken the bar.
Yeah, I was
Or the
working it
chain.
slow and whatnot because I didn't want to bind
But
it
we
up.
did get it clear.
But we did get it clear. 2 hours later, we did
Through
get
a
it
lot
clear.
of chainsaw work, then you tried to push it with the bumper,
Bent the bumper.
and your truck decided you wanted to climb over it.
It bent the bumper. It broke the tree and made it fall to the ground. And then my Jeep decided it wanted to go up on the tree, which was no, Jeep. We're not
No.
climbing over things.
Then we put a tree saver strap,
Tried to pull
tried
it.
to pull it. Then it wanted to dig into the ground. So we tried pushing the tree.
Tried climbing
Your
over the
truck
tree.
wants to climb over it because your ride height, the angle
The
of the
approach
underside of
angle.
your bumper and everything. So that's not going to work. So then we put I think we used the tree saver strap. Try to pull it. It starts digging into the ground.
No. So
It
when I pushed
rotated.
it and it broke, right? But then the problem,
Okay.
we hooked the winch up with the tree saver. We tried to pull it, and it was wedging and pulling the other side that we didn't
Oh
want to move.
yeah. But
So we had to go and cut it some more,
but we finally get it out,
and we used the backup and the
start
winch to drag it up
dragging
the
it.
road.
and we drug it up. We finally get it drug up far enough that we can drive the trucks around it, even with the trailer. And we spent 2-3 hours.
2
at that
hours.
site?
2 hours.
2 hours.
The ladies were wonderful enough. While we're hacking away on this tree, they
made
bring us sandwiches. Oh,
Because otherwise, hangry of
Yeah.
epic proportions would have occurred, and that would have been bad. Very bad.
but yeah, that was some work. So that blew the afternoon.
No, we weren't done there. That was the morning. We were
No,
done.
no, that was lunch.
That was lunch.
That was
We
lunch.
came rolling up about lunchtime.
11
That was
o'clock.
lunch.
Yeah, so
It
we
was
left at
11
1.
o'clock. We left at 1. After that, we had the pleasure of climbing Rattlesnake Ridge.
What?
And it was
Yep, that was Rattlesnake Ridge Day.
No.
Yes, it was. I read my notes.
I feel like there's another day in there.
Nope.
You guys joke that the fire service kid, so you ran across would have been
Oh,
able to handle
yeah,
it
yeah,
better.
it was Rattlesnake Ridge because I was joking because we're climbing out Rattlesnake Ridge after we went across, which river was it? That was our first fording of the river.
Did we ford the river?
And the wagon didn't fall apart, so that was good.
That would be, we forded the,
Our only 2 fording days were that day.
But we'd only forded one river at that point. So apparently National Forest Service makes its money off of selling timber and selling rangeland rights.
Well, that explains how the entire state of Oregon almost can be national forest.
Yeah, a lot of cows.
A lot of cows.
A lot of cows.
that was the night that we camped next to the creek, and the campground was empty.
So it was the dry campground, but it was a national forest campground.
That was a nice little campsite. Nobody else was in it. Little creek. Nice little creek.
Yeah, you boys went and cleaned up in it.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, it was that cold.
Oh yeah.
It was numb your toes cold, but it
That was
felt.
a nice little site.
But that was day 6.
That was day 4.
Wait.
Then we weren't.
We're off.
We're off.
You're off. That was day 4. That was at the end of Rattlesnake Ridge Day.
No,
Yes.
because we were in Burns the next day.
No, we
No,
weren't.
we weren't.
We went
then
first thing in the morning, day 5, we went into Seneca and had that amazing stop because we needed to get rid of our trash. We needed to get fuel. We needed to get water. We needed to get ice.
That's right, because one of the things we wanted at that campground was we said, okay, well, a campground, we should be able to get water and we should be able to dump our trash.
And there was nothing.
Yeah, the only thing they had
It was
was a
bathroom.
site and a pit toilet. Clean pit toilet.
It was clean
But it
pit
was
toilets.
a dry campground.
It was
You know,
a dry
actually,
campground.
every single National Forest Service campground we have been
Freaking
at this entire
amazing.
trip, all of their pit toilets have been clean.
Clean. They don't smell. They're well stocked.
They were squeaky.
So we decided instead of trying to get back on the trail, let's just cut into Seneca. I think we had looked at the maps. We were kind of like, okay, if we cut into Seneca, go south out of Seneca a little bit, then we can hop onto the Southern
Bear.
Forest Service Road.
It was Bear Family Store / Mini Mart.
And it was Pam.
Yeah, that was one of the gals' names. I can't for the life of me remember
So
the
we
other one.
pull into town. They got some old school bus sitting there at the pump. We
Filling
pull
up.
in. You pull in first. I pulled up around somewhere else, and then, but we got through.
I fill up all the gas.
You filled it, yeah, because we had drained both your jerry cans
Both the jerry cans
into your truck.
into the Hemi.
Okay, so we filled up the jerry cans because we used them up on Bovine Ridge. I have no idea what the name of the ridge is, but we filled them. So we used the jerry cans
Bovine
there.
Meadow. Bovine Meadow.
That was your first experience, was that your first experience with the siphon?
With that siphon.
With
yeah.
that siphon.
Okay, so
Okay, so then we filled up. So you filled up your jerry cans in Seneca, filled up your truck, and then you pulled forward. You're like, I'll pay inside, and I pull up. I fill up my rig, and then.
and you'd sent me inside to find out about water, ice,
you were
etc.
in there asking about ice. Because we had separated when we pulled up to the station. I had told you to ask about water and garbage.
and ice.
And Josh, while at the pump, had asked about water and garbage as well.
And ice.
Sweet gal, really friendly.
Nicest lady I think we might have met the entire trip.
You asked her about water. She's like, "How much you need?" And you're like,
All this. And she goes,
she's
right
like,
over
"Oh,
there,
yeah, the
there's a
hose.
hose."
It's city water, fresh and clean, cold." And then you're like, "How about some garbage? How much?" 2 bags, just what's in here. Oh yeah,
We'll put it
dumpsters
over
out
there.
back, yeah.
Well, and then she came in to check us out because we had gotten stuff and their bathroom was not working. But I asked her, I'm like, so can we get some water? She says, oh, I took care of the boys. They're filling it up on the side. And I'm like, and trash? She says, oh, nope, you dumped that. Don't worry a thing about that. And she's like, you can use my water anytime. She says, if you come through here, she says, and someone sees you use my water, you don't even have to buy gas here. You can use my water. And if anybody gives you any crap about it, you can just tell them that Pam said it was okay. And I live right across the street. And if we're closed, you just ring that number that's on the door, and I will come over and take care of you. She's
Really,
freaking
really
amazing.
sweet gal.
great.
And then I asked her, I'm like, bathroom? She's like, oh, right down at the park, nice and clean. You use those.
And they were clean.
They
so
were.
we dealt with that. And was it that day we saw Lost Cabin, or was it the next day?
Nope.
So it's that day we had no idea where we're gonna camp yet. Right?
Right.
We're just going along, But there was a waypoint for Lost Cabin, and we could see why it was lost, because even the signs pointing to Lost Cabin weren't pointing quite the right way. We even wandered around it before we found it. A little bit wetter of a meadow than expected.
The dogs had a blast.
Oh gosh, yeah, they did.
So dogs got a romp through the meadow. Finally found the cabin.
It was pretty
Cute little thing. Back behind a fence.
Easily 100 plus years
Oh
old.
yeah, it's been there for a while. Staying on, more or less, on or off the track.
I think we were still staying on the track.
Trying to stay near the track. And then what? We ended up at Delinquent Lake, right?
We went to Yellow Jacket Lake for lunch first.
Oh yeah.
Did we stay there?
No.
We stayed there for lunch. It was busy. It had porta potty toilets up at the top, and you drove off, and I demanded John stop so I could go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it
Yellow
did
Jacket
not,
Lake.
and it didn't live up to its name. You had ducked off. We had a nice, quiet lunch.
Down in the shade.
Down in the shade. The dogs got to go to the bathroom. You could see the water. It was actually a nice little lunch spot, and then we pulled back up off the road, and then we went to Delinquent Lake.
Yeah.
What was it, Delinquent Lake?
That was where
That's
we
where
camped
we camped
that
for the
night.
night.
You were taking pictures of Noah and John playing catch.
What day are we on now?
We're finishing up Delinquent Lake. So that was the day before we rolled into Burns. We were discussing the campground that night. You couldn't fly the drone, so you pretended to fly it like a toy over camp. That was
That was funny.
That was the first night. You and John set up tripods that night to.
Yours, I think yours turned out. You had the Osmo.
No.
Trying to do some night.
Yeah, I tried to do some night time lapses, but it just. I think that it can do nighttime lapses, and it can do daytime time lapses, but it can't do the transition very well.
Yeah, I tried doing some night stuff, and I went for auto on the on the GoPro, and auto's not the way to do it. I should have set specific aperture lengths and whatnot.
So we would have to go back and.
We'll find it. It's
Okay.
no reason to.
So after we left Delinquent Lake the next day, we were headed for Civilization and Burns. We needed to restock some of the supplies at Safeway and do laundry, and you guys at that point had discovered that we needed to start checking into ranger stations. Our maps were insufficient to take us any further.
But before we got to Burns, so we're coming out of Delinquent. We're kind of making up our own path at this point.
Well, we're still kind of staying with the path.
We're close to the path, but we're feeling a little bit more free, right?
Yeah, we're starting to see that.
But as we're coming out, working our way towards Burns, we went up on that ridge. What was anybody remember what the fire name was? Decades ago. But that draw that
sucked the fire through.
Like it went through at some amazing rate.
Killed 73,000 acres.
That's right. At that
in
viewpoint.
X number of.
That was a pretty viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. 1.5
That was cool.
In 1.5 hours.
Yeah. So we went past that. That was a nice sight to view.
We looked at the airport.
Then we looked at air base.
Oh, that's right.
That weird airbase.
Yeah.
That was
up there.
bizarre.
That was bizarre.
Little
And then
weird.
we pulled into Burns.
Pulled into Burns.
And then things kind of got a little.
Well,
Janky
picked up some stuff.
Picked up some stuff. We had lunch in the park.
Got some tools. Realized we needed to.
Told we could check. What threw us off was they told us check-in. We went straight to the hotel and they said check-in was not going to be for 2 more hours.
And then we topped off.
And we topped off the propane.
And there was an argument about
used
propane.
3/4 of the gallon.
No, but the funniest bit, I love that the gal was so nice because we filled up your truck, then we filled up my truck, and I think
We were going into pay and buy a
going
couple
in to
things.
pay both of them.
And I go,
and
wait,
buy a
wait,
couple things. It's like, did you ring it up yet? We need to do the propane. And she's like, no, we'll go do that. It's just like, really nice gal comes out,
That
does
was
the
the
propane. Then we
Sinclair,
realize, we realize, we got to take our hoses off the tank to fill it up.
Well, here's a wrench.
She hands us a wrench. It's just like, we met some of the most awesome service people on the whole trip.
Yeah, we had.
You were closest on the guess as to how much petroleum.
But we burned. So that was day 6.
Propane.
Yeah.
And we were cooking for 6 people, 2 meals a day.
Correct.
And we burned through
Not
three
even
quarters
a gallon.
3/4 of a gallon of propane.
And I figured we hadn't burnt through that much, and
I'm
everyone.
certain we would have gone through so many of those stupid little green bottles.
Yeah.
And those would have been a nuisance trash-wise.
And then, so we did finally get into our hotel.
We did.
And then we went to go find some chow.
Oh no!
no,
Back your ass up.
The
You
Safeway.
could just back your ass up. While the
Safeway.
boys and the kids got to partake of the hot, clean showers and bath towels, Joanne and I dutifully took the goddamn GoPro and our epic shopping list and went Safeway to restock for the second half of the trip. And oh boy.
That was a rough Safeway trip.
That was, I mean, we found
But you
everything.
got what we needed. You brought back food, vegetable, bread, ice that we asked for,
And we played with the damn GoPro.
and bags so that we could bag. So we had
Don't
learned
roll your eyes at
we had
me.
learned a little bit more about running in the coolers because we were running so many different kinds of food. That having Ziploc bags to ensure that food was isolated.
Yes. And we should have started that way.
Also,
but we learned that for next year.
Shouldn't use a cardboard carton of milk.
Yeah, that
Right.
cardboard.
It's just not going to last in
a cooler.
ice in a cooler.
And water.
No.
Icy water.
Yeah.
No, it was because I wanted to go to Crack in the Ground. We needed to get out on time, and
We got out a little slow.
we got out a little slow, but we needed to get out so that we could do Crack in the Ground because it was like 3 hours from Burns to Crack in the Ground to go and do that. And
Yeah.
that was something I really wanted to do on the trip. That was my, ooh, please let me go see it.
Got on the road again, headed towards Crack in the Ground. I think we ended up going a bit more highway towards
So that we could accomplish our mileage for
Christmas
the day.
Valley. Well, no, because to make sure we got to Crack in the Ground.
Yeah.
So we went pretty highway to get to Crack in the Ground, and then started going up the road to Crack in the Ground out of Christmas Valley.
Crack in the Ground's roads were not very maintained.
No, and that was the.
But we did get up there.
We
It
got
was a
drone
little
footage.
it was a little hot for the dogs. So,
Yeah.
And
A lot
and
hot
the,
for the dogs.
and the rocks were a little rough for them. But we did get some epic drone footage over Crack in the Ground.
Yeah, we did.
I think I got some nice stills.
And I got
walking through
to
there, too.
walk through a bit of it, which was really fun for me. And we got to see the vista with the
It's not recorded.
So we had drone footage of Crack in the Ground. It was too hot for the dogs there. Ground and the
Well,
rocks
and
were
the
sharp.
rocks. I don't know if it was the fact that the rocks were sharp. I think it was just the
Camber?
amount of step and distance on the rocks. The boys didn't really like
It
it
was a
too
bit
much.
much for 'em.
They're not rock climbing dogs.
Pippin thought he was.
They're snow dogs.
Pippin was having fun, so you turned back around. They just sat there, waited for us.
We went and got the drone.
We hoofed it through. You got the drone, brought that up.
Epic drone footage of Crack in the Ground. And then we had the vista of the 4 volcano cones.
Oh, when we went through Crack in the Ground, kind of walking down the south path, and then came back up around the top, the top side of it. Got to see the
And that's where
lava
Crack in the
domes.
Ground came from.
Yeah.
Was from the torsion on the ground when they were active. So after we went there, we got the dogs back to the car ASAP. It was just too hot on the ground for them. We went and had lunch in Christmas Valley at that
Well, yeah.
really
So,
nice
so
park.
we go back into Christmas Valley, top off the tanks, and we're kind of like, "Where's the park? Where can we have some lunch?"
in
Brand
some
new park.
shade.
Wandered around and ran into a brand new park. Yeah, beautiful park. These,
Yeah, it wasn't on any of
these
my
little communities and they're
satellite
awesome
stuff.
parks.
Yeah, and that was a great little park. They had like a little amphitheater and little.
Yeah.
There was lots of shade for the boys to lay down on and
Yeah.
chill out on. We probably stayed a little longer than we should have
Yeah,
for lunch.
that seemed to be a trend for lunch. Yeah.
It was so comfy.
And then
And then we went and got back on the trail.
yeah, 3 miles an hour.
So so the funny thing is, you go south out of Christmas Valley to get on the trail, and then you hop off, and you're going around. Was it Black Rock?
It was Black Rock Hills.
Black Rock Hills. And it's a neat scenic bit, but is it rocky?
I think that if we had 35 plus inch tires and we were able to air down to, I don't know, maybe 14 to 16 psi, it would have been a fine ride. But as it stands, it's just rocks after rocks after rocks.
Even
and
the
they're
antelope
not.
we saw was not.
And we saw one antelope.
We saw one antelope.
One pronghorn antelope,
And
and boy was
unfortunately,
he
I
beautiful.
don't think we got any stills of that.
I don't think we got any stills.
He
I don't
was
think we got any
beautiful.
video. But we
Oh, we crawled.
there were some good views up at the top,
There
but we
were.
just crawled. I mean,
And
it
then
just kept
thunder
getting
started
worse
rolling in, and then the thunder
and
rolled
worse. And then there was little thunder and just enough rain to. If
Make
there
us
was,
nervous.
If it made us nervous because we were in a not so great place for flash flooding. But the one good thing is that it rained just enough
to knock
tamp
that damn dust down.
a
Oh,
little bit.
good
So
Lord.
as we get up to the top, and we start flipping through maps again, kind of going.
Well, and you
is
needed to
there-
cool off your transmission.
No, I just
no.
I just wanted to cool
It's
down
truck.
the engine because it was
The engine,
running
the engine.
for crawling for
Oh,
hours.
God.
So-
crawling.
We start looking at maps, trying to figure
Under
out
the power lines.
is there a way to get out of this? Oh yeah, the buzzing power lines. Trying to figure out, can we get out of this thing? We kind of come up with, okay, it looks like instead of taking that switchback, if we
I
just
found
keep
that.
going,
I found that.
that'll
That
get
was
us
my
back
find.
out to the highway again.
I'm like, wait, there's hardball. Black
Yeah.
line, black line.
So-
And we realize essentially once we get down to the highway,
We're like 2 minutes from where we got on the trail.
We will have spent, what was it?
Less than 5 minutes.
1 hour,
worth of
1 hour,
hardball.
2 hours?
No, it was like
3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Crawling across this shitty rocky road.
That would have taken us 2 minutes on hardball, 5 minutes on
And
hardball.
it was like 5 minutes down the hardball.
And there
we
wasn't
got back
anything
on
we're
the
seeing.
road that we had left to get off, to get this big loop.
Yeah, it was
And,
ridiculous.
and our day didn't end there. It got worse. That
And
was
I
the
think
day it got worse.
That's where we said, road less traveled is great. This road should never be traveled.
And that's when our day got worse. So we took the hardball. That was when we went up to Fremont Forest.
So
We
yeah,
were gonna try and
go down the
camp there.
highway a little bit, kind of towards Silver Lake, and then duck south of that, climb up into the Fremont Forest.
And that's when things went to hell.
Well, we
Because
switched.
No.
All the books. No, it didn't go to hell. But
didn't go to hell.
we realized more and more that the maps, the source maps
We're
we're running
further
from,
and further out of date.
were just not working. Now,
And we were off minutes
well, hold on.
and pages.
Hold on. So the route from Walla Walla down diagonally until we got to Silver Lake had been multiple sections,
with
but of
continuous path.
one route through the state of Oregon.
Every page, next page,
Now,
next page, next
from
page.
Silver Lake, the final segment of that route went straight south. We were wanting to go horizontal towards the coast, which put us on a different route. But it met up, but that meant a totally different route book. And that route book was described differently,
Key coded it.
key coded differently, and
Wasn't contiguous.
they had implied, all of the prior route books had been contiguous maps. So when you switch from leaf to leaf, you flip a page, and we're looking at the track we're doing, and then start looking at the GPS points and going, these things are 10 miles apart. You can't have two leaves in this book where we had presumed contiguous pages being 10 miles apart as a crow flies.
And they weren't, and the roads that were on the map books weren't accurate.
They weren't matching
And there had been a burn through there.
A few years earlier.
I mean, a while back, but that meant there was really no cover. Most of the roads were ridge
All the
line.
spurs were gone. And
It hadn't been, the brush hadn't been cleared through very well. So there really wasn't easy camping.
there was no easy camping.
So we're looking for a dry camp, Finally get up to a ridge top where it's like, okay, this might work. Pull down, so I'm sitting up top because With the trailer, it's a little hard for me to turn around. He was in the same spot, but you had heard it from behind you, which of course is disconcerting.
I couldn't believe that was what I was hearing. I didn't want to say anything initially because I didn't want to ruin camp that night because we were all so tired.
You came back, you shared your concern, and we had backed it up. We thought we had the trailer level. We were kind of okay. Megan was going to hop out with the dog. And I was like, no, get back in the truck.
And I put the boys in the truck.
You put the boys in the truck, so we had nobody extra running around. Everybody else was next to the trucks.
You guys stepped off into the brush.
We went back a little bit to listen further. We heard it
a couple times.
Growl one or two more times. And we're like, yep, nope, we're out of here.
You guys came hustling back. And you're like, okay, we're leaving, and then he did it again with all of us standing there.
Yeah, this is its campsite, not ours.
It can have our own.
Yeah, so we packed that up, and then we started off looking again, and we decided that, hey, here's this place that we can...
Thompson Reservoir.
It's on all the maps.
Oh, yeah.
We had all the advertising that we were there. We had multiple routes to get there, so we started. But it was far. I mean, it was probably like 12 miles away.
We had to book it across that forest.
So we were going, and we were going.
The sun's going down, mind you, at this point.
So
we were careening off that mountain.
Everything was looking good.
And then until it didn't.
And then
and we were so close to it. And all of a sudden, the map stopped lining up.
The map stopped lining up. So we figured out what roads were what, and we started going. And then
we had given up on our track at this point.
Totally.
Well, we ended up back on
we ended up intersecting with our track.
Unintentional though it was.
And so we're coming around, and the roads are way off, right? And they're way off on our map books. They're way off on our GPSs. They're way up on our other maps. They're just way off. And we're doing this in the dark.
Pitch black at this point.
Whereas the big blue beast can turn night into day. The Cherokee doesn't.
Nothing's matching anything. We're thinking we're like gonna have to. We've been driving what feels like in circles at this point.
It's very dark at this point.
We haven't had any dinner. No dinner.
Oh yeah, we hadn't made because we have dinner at camp
and it's dark.
It's dark.
And camp was interrupted. We didn't want to share dinner with Bear.
Well, right, but it's dark. But remember, it's dark in the summer.
We pull up further. It's like, okay, well that's a different road, but that should go. We try this spur, and that was tight. Figured out how to turn around. That was crazy. And we finally go, well, let's try this road.
There it is.
022.
We go down that road,
and it was right freaking there.
Pull up. It's like there's the sign. So we pull in
as quietly as humanly possible.
We pull in, go around, find a site that's it was reasonably populated.
Yeah, it was.
The campsite was.
The campground was, yeah.
And we find a site.
That's the fastest we ever
And the funny bit is, other
camp.
people were pulling in late too.
They pulled in after us too.
And some of the people who pulled in after us left before us.
Yeah, and we pull in and get our rigs backed up, and trying to do it as quietly as possible with two rigs that we have to back into a site, back in, get them level, ish enough that we're okay. Get the tents set up.
Take care of the dogs.
Thankfully, I forget who made the call. Was it you or you? But it's like, let's just have sandwiches. Dinner is sandwiches.
You told me, you're like, when we get to camp dinner, I'm like, sandwiches.
You made them.
Oh yeah, no, you know what John did? John's like, make sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah, you said, I'm having the sandwiches, so we went, cool.
Took our sweet time getting out of that campsite.
we were so
way too long. That was bad.
It was okay. We needed it.
So then we're on the road again. That was Thompson Reservoir, and then going out of there.
So what day?
So now we're in the
day 8.
We're about
day 8.
We're about midway through Fremont Forest. Actually, maybe the far end of Fremont Forest. We're pretty close to Wainema Forest.
We went to Rodman Rock that morning.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was that morning.
We go to Rodman Rock. That was beautiful.
That was amazing. You're way 6,000 some odd feet.
It was gorgeous.
Beautiful view of
amazing.
Lots of mountain
three peaks.
Three sisters.
In the southern. No, I don't think sisters.
Was it not sisters?
I don't know.
I think that you could see everything. I swear you could see freaking Jefferson.
I don't know which peaks they were.
I'm
not that good with them.
Well, we'll figure.
But we got to see those. Got some beautiful panos.
There were lots of butterflies. and mountain bees
Oh, yeah.
that were fun to hear buzzing around in the flowers.
There
And
were
watch.
dragonflies up there.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
really pretty. And then we moved on.
It
We
was
were
a nice
going to
little hike
go
up
we
there.
were headed for Skookum Butte. That was where we were going to camp. We didn't.
And then we're following it. And now
Oh,
we're
actually,
on the.
quick little aside. Back up in the not so Skookum Mount Butte. We'll never know because the roads weren't Skookum. The kids sure got a workout. So you're barreling through the road, and you're like, hey, there's a tree you might need lifted. You don't care. You're like, I'll go through it, but you don't want your daily driver all scratched up.
No,
That's fine. It's a nice rig. It's a nice rig. It still has a nice paint job on it, I think. We'll see once we wash it.
We'll see in a couple days when it gets
And
washed.
so Noah to this point had been doing primarily most of the tree branch lifting, but oh man, that road was so bad. I had to send both of them out there, and there were skeeters.
Oh, and that was the
They
beginning.
gotta work. They gotta
That
work
was
out.
the beginning.
They gotta
of
work
mosquitoes.
out.
But
Yeah.
and then there was the one.
We were on the west side at that point.
Yeah,
And
we,
the
we
west
just
side had
broke over to the west side, and then of course there was the. I need you to send one of them up here to hold a tree up because I'm too tall for the damn tree.
Yeah, you finally needed somebody to hold a tree out of your way.
It was lower than the tent, so we held the tent up. So we got the tree held up, and then we kept going, and then we found the road that was supposed to join up with the highway
Yeah, with 97.
with 97,
And we get right there, and then
there's no road.
There's nothing.
So we're driving.
Our
we're-
trail ends,
and
and there's the
Whatever
this
you call it,
embankment
the
or whatever.
Culvert
Yeah,
thingy.
and we're driving next to the highway, down probably 10 feet from the actual highway, and people must have thought
Decades
we were
ago,
insane.
before they had improved 97, that
So-
probably met up.
So fortunately, there was like a
something maps out of date.
all of the maps are out of date. So we found we continued.
You then
down the-
just basically made up a frontage road. You're going north because we're on the north
Well,
side.
I kinda saw
We're on the
something
north
like
side of the. We're on the east side of 97, so northbound traffic. And so you just went up and got up to a chain up area.
No, it
right?
was a snowplow turn run.
Okay,
And
but
so
it was at grade
It was
of the
it was
highway.
kind of, graded down. So
And we were able to
climb
sneak up on that, and then wait for traffic, and then start going south. We're not too far north of a pilot truck stop. Nice truck stop.
up. And was that where we stopped at our first ranger station?
Well, that was the next morning.
That was the next
we pull
morning.
pull in a truck stop, top off the tanks,
And decide to head to Miller
Miller
Lake
Lake.
to camp for the night
yeah,
because and we
it's
were
just
getting
right around
kinda,
the corner.
and we're
We'll go
getting
to
kind of
Miller Lake.
touchy because we're coming up on the holiday and we're starting to get a little nervous about finding campsites at this point.
Yeah.
So we go to Miller Lake and we find us a spot and we hop out and it sucked. It just started sucking from there. The mosquitoes
Mosquitoes.
went from bad to bad. They chased us to
Camp
bad.
host was a little.
He was odd for a camp host.
Non-existent.
He was odd for a camp
We
host,
paid up. No firewood. He says, glean the campsite.
which there was plenty of.
There was plenty.
There's plenty. We would have been able to glean better if you pulled out the chainsaw, but we thought that might be rude
Might be
at a
rude.
campsite.
Might be rude to break out the chainsaw at campgrounds. We didn't break out the chainsaw, but that was the beginning of Mosquito Alley.
Oh, that was
And
bad.
they weren't small mosquitoes. They were huge mosquitoes.
And they dive bombed your eyes.
And they were so strong they were making it through denim.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were aggressive.
They were aggressive. They were
They covered the dogs.
they covered the dogs. The poor dogs were just
Miserable. So we finally give up and go to bed. Yeah, we did dinner.
We go to bed.
We get up the next morning and it was worse. It was epically worse.
And
We
pretty
didn't even
quickly,
eat
pretty
breakfast.
quickly, we collectively said, no, we're getting the hell out of here.
we got out.
We didn't eat breakfast. We didn't do anything. We
bother.
packed up.
Just
We
packed up and
ran.
left.
They
Yep.
chased us out.
Yep, they
So we
chased
had
us.
camp broken down in
I don't know,
10, 15
10,
minutes.
15 minutes. We were on the road.
It was epically
We're back
awful.
on the road.
We went to the pilot
We hauled back down to the pilot.
because you needed
We all
Loctite.
we needed some Loctite because the trailer, the brackets.
The trailer latches were coming apart,
One bracket was broken.
and the other one just kept loosening
the
up.
pins for the latches were wandering because they kept loosening up. No matter, we kept tightening them down, but they wouldn't stay tight.
So we got some Loctite. We fixed that. We got some breakfast. We got some coffee. Oh my God, we got coffee.
We got coffee.
And then we went to the ranger station.
Yes, we went to the ranger station.
Coffee and a little bit of breakfast. I think it was Subway, right?
Something.
Interesting breakfast.
It was food, and we left.
So we got to the ranger station, and we found one of the most helpful rangers.
She was so nice.
Looking up there.
She was
limited to her forest.
She was, and her forest was east of us, the one we just came out of. And basically was, we were at the top end of her top west end of her forest.
But she gave us water and let us dump trash.
Yeah, we asked her about trash, we asked her about water. She's like, yep, fill up, dump the trash,
and bathrooms.
I used the Loctite there while we were parked in the shade, which was great.
Shade in the Central Desert was
She gave us maps, which will be great for a future reference. Weren't of any help for the direction we were going, but did tell us next ranger station was just up in
Deschutes.
Crescent.
Yes, it was in Crescent. It was for Deschutes.
So we went up to Crescent.
So we go up to him.
It was like 5 miles, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Oh, it was not. It was like.
So we head on up there.
Ridiculous.
Pull on in.
And he's pulling out, and we're telling him what he's doing, and so and he goes, "This is what we're doing, and these are the maps we have." And he goes, and he's just pulling out maps and spreading them all over.
He was having fun. He enjoyed
finding us new routes, and he's going, "Oh well, this map will do this, and this map, and I unfortunately don't have this map, but I got the coast map, and we've got all these maps going on."
We bought
we bought
we got the free motor vehicle use maps.
Yep. Strong
free state
recommended.
map.
Yep.
Which has highways and some of the
big forest roads.
It has some of the 2-digit Forest Service roads on it, and some of the interconnectors. Basically, if any vehicle should be able to pass it, it's on the state vehicle, the state map. So we had pieced it, and I'm scribbling on a piece of paper. Okay, we're going to take this, and had a rough idea, but basically figured. We're kind of like, we'll kind of figure this out. And I think about that time, we're like, you know what? Let's go to Bend.
No,
not yet.
That is incorrect. We had joked that we could go to Bend after the pilot stop when we pulled into the ranger station.
No, but we're at the second ranger station.
Yes, that was
Did
the
all
second.
the maps.
Yes,
and
but
he told us that just north of the ranger station was a cutoff, and it was actually Crescent Lake cutoff that we could get back to Crescent Lake, because we're like, okay, because that's where our track started back up.
But you boys came walking out because no decisions had been made for the day.
No, we come back out to the cars.
And I said,
okay.
So are we going to Bend? Because we had tossed it around. We're like, well, we could. And we decided at that point, we're going to Bend.
We're going to go to Bend. And we decided to go to Bend, and we just beeline straight for CVT, pulled in, and he comes up and he goes, he looks at me, he goes, "I remember you, but I don't remember your rigs." And I go, and I pointed around, and he goes, "Oh, there it is." And I go, "We need to get this. Here's our problems." And he walked through and he listened to all of our problems, and he got the trailer fixed up. And he said, "Yeah, we know this. We're working on ways to fix this, and we're working on ways to fix that." So
every complaint, hint, recommendation we had come up with,
they were
already aware of, which is great. And then we also, because we had broken the latch on the Blanefly days prior,
he gave us
asked for a new latch for that. He gave us one.
He gave us latches.
So they torqued down the pin.
And they replaced
the latch, torqued down the pin, got that going. So that's great. And our Loctited one still held.
Still held. Still good.
So then after and we had a lot of fun wandering around the showroom. Beautiful. Yeah. I want that teardrop, even though he's like, yeah, that's 3 of those trailers. I'm like, it's still an awesome looking teardrop.
It's a rugged little teardrop too.
Oh yeah, it looks like fun.
It's got a little kitchen in the back, I think.
Drooled all over an awning that you still have no idea how you're going to fit on your truck.
I'll figure it out. I'll make it fit. I don't have to.
So we got some stuff, refitted a little bit.
But once again,
campground on the south side. Then we sat down. Maps and we just laid out paper maps, and there were some, with all the new stuff. There were some bugs. There were some mosquitoes there. I think the citronella helped a lot. Those bugs were not quite as aggressive or crazy as the ones prior, so they didn't get any.
You've always worked at the maps, and we had dinner, and we worked on them again.
We figured out a route from where we were all the way to we had ourselves all the way past I-5.
Yeah.
And we were like, we had ourselves all the way past I-5.
We're going to get more maps.
And we
the
were
next
gonna
day.
get maps in Glide.
In
'Cause
Glide.
we had mapped ourselves from Crescent Lake across a couple ridges down onto Highway 38, no 138, and that was going to take us through Glide and dump us out into Roseburg.
And it did.
We had some ideas from there.
And we had
so we
had, but
sorry.
on that route, we
lucked out with some great
we had
ridge
the views
So
that we had the first couple
at
of days.
Crescent Lake, we had a beautiful view up against Diamond Peak,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Great.
going out, we had this view back onto the other side of Diamond Peak, and beautiful forest, nice roads.
We had technical.
Well, yeah, that first 4-digit coming out of Crescent Lake was technical, and then it was just a lot of downhill from there. getting
Summit
down the
Lake had a
highway.
lot of wet, and
Yeah.
there was snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was we ran into some snow.
Summit Lake was a good name for
You
it.
could
That'd be
see-
the right place to have snow.
the snow the mosquitoes up there though.
I don't
that
wanna
you
talk
could
about
you could see them. So I jumped out.
Oh, they were hovering around our tailpipes.
They were there was like this mass between the back of the Cherokee and the in front of the trailer.
Yeah. And there was this one spot because we were a couple technical rocks, and you went through it, had a good line, and you're like, I really want to get video of you through this, but I'm not sure I want to get out of my truck.
And then at one point, with all the mud because of the snow that was still melting, you said, "If you get stuck, you're on your own. I ain't getting out of the damn truck."
And don't get stuck here because I don't want to deal with the mosquitoes.
So we get all the way down. We're hauling down the highway. Beautiful forest views, a lot less stress.
By this point, though, we are a few hundred miles behind where we want to be. Right, the day
But
we get up.
we're burning some really good paved roads, and we're catching up, and we're enjoying ourselves. We're in a little bit better spirits, I think. And we pull into the Glide Ranger Station, which is for Umpqua National Forest.
And you
We
realize
pull in,
it's the 4th
and
of
we're
July.
like, we're gonna get ourselves some maps. And it's like, oh wait, I walk up to your door, and I'm like, Josh, we forgot something.
Well,
It's like, what? The day.
What day is
It's
it?
the 4th of July. Why the hell would a ranger station be staffed on a federal holiday?
Yeah. Oops.
That
It was a nice
funny.
place to have lunch.
That was
Nice place
fun.
to have
So they had nice little grass out front,
Picnic
nice
table.
shade. So we load back up. We go into Roseburg, top off the tanks again.
And we were headed. We had a couple possibilities.
And I
for
think
the
at that
evening.
point we kind of realized, okay, well let's just keep going out 138. Let's go to Elkton, get on the 38, go out the coast. There's a couple options. We could go north into BLM land, and we're like, we're not technically on I-5. We're not technically on I-5. It's still just a highway, 138. Go up to Sutherland. We got some options, and then we're like, let's keep going. And then we start rounding a bend. It's like,
What are
we'll
our
try this one.
options?
So we decided to go south, which we
But
were
first
thinking.
we found out there was a burn ban.
Yeah, we found out there was a burn
Oh,
because
well-
we were still torn between
Dry
going to a
camping.
campground or dry camping.
Yeah, and two sheriffs.
There was two deputies down there.
Deschutes County, I think they were.
No, they
No,
were.
not
I
Deschutes,
don't. No, they were. Whatever.
Douglas
County.
Douglas
Douglas
County
County.
is where we
Yeah,
were.
and
Two
they,
of them.
one of them pulls off, and one of them comes around and says, "Hey, how you doing? Looking at
Are
maps.
you lost? Yeah,
Lost.
can I help you?
Being a really, really nice
And
guy.
we're like, the roads we got figured out. It's the not roads.
It's not
The
roads. And he
roads that
picked
we
it up. He
wanna
knew
be
it.
on.
And that's when he goes, "Yeah, and don't forget that the burn ban went into effect today. No burning of any kind." And it's like,
Outside of improved
Out-
campgrounds with rings.
right. So at that point we go, okay, well, our last couple nights we're not gonna.
We were kind of hoping to have another wild camp, but one, we didn't have good. So we were looking at going
We
to
didn't
the
get-
Elliott State Forest,
and
but
we
we didn't
couldn't-
have any maps that were really good. So then we basically decided we're going to go south into the campsites, Loon Lake,
Yep.
next to the Elliott. We didn't know they were BLM campsites, but then we start pulling in. We realized they're BLM. Big campsite, really
Big camp- well,
really
campground.
Campground, sorry.
Big campground.
Kind of dense.
Very dense.
But had a lake.
Found a site. Thank
It
heavens.
was what, our 5th lake?
I think that was our 5th lake. Yeah.
And Josh finally got in the lake.
I finally got in the lake.
Because there weren't any mosquitoes. Well, okay, the skeeters there were dumb.
So decent campsite. So we stayed there last night. No, night before last.
Night before last.
And then we came out of there.
And we had the reservations for here already.
And we didn't really need to leave super early, so we basically left there as late as we could, almost 11 a.m. Then we came on down.
Rolled into the
Rolled
campsite.
into the campsite.
Set up.
Cute little campsite.
It's a nice little campsite. It's
Has showers.
Hot showers.
showers.
Non-coin operated. They're not coin operated.
oh, yep, they're not coin operated. That's kind of a big thing.
You can take as long of a shower as you want, but you really
Yeah.
shouldn't. But
I got
you
to
know,
let my hair
But
down
the
and
hot water
wash
just
it.
doesn't run out on you after a minute and a half.
Oh, it was nice. Lots of kids here. There's a biker gang. Approximately 9 to 10 years old.
Yeah.
About 30 of them.
oh yeah, they are
They're
a
doing
roving
circles.
place locked
They're doing
down.
circles.
Slept really well that night.
Oh yeah.
We went to the beach. I got to see a hermit crab. I also watched people kill a Dungeness crab, a little juvenile, which really made me mad, really mad.
Leave the wildlife alone, people.
Or if you pick it up, pick it up.
Enjoy it.
If you pick it up, be gentle with it. Don't tear it. Don't damage it. Don't chase your children
And
with
don't
it.
stomp on it.
And then put it back.
So
put it back.
played around on the beach.
Hey, around the beach.
Came back, slept that night. Today,
Today
today. So John completely misread the map.
It's not. How's that 2.25 miles working for you?
Oh god.
8
so I
miles later.
completely misread the map, and so we decided because we got the big tent off your commander set up, and it's like we don't want to tear it down.
No.
And so we'll leave that in place. The four of us will walk with all the dogs. You lent me your camera. I think I got some epic shots
Really good shot.
with that. 300,
300.
70 to 300. That was fun to play with. Got Megan playing with my little Fuji fixed 23
That was
millimeter, which on an APS-C is pretty much a prime. So she was having some fun with that. Hoofed it down there. Realized that once we got I had said 2.5 hours. It'll be 30 minutes, about 30 minutes.
2.5 miles.
2.5 miles. What did I just say?
2.5 hours.
2.5
what it ended up
miles.
being.
2.5 miles. It'll be about 30 minutes, which is about right for our speed. And you were going to drive
Drive
one of
up
the
there and
rigs
meet you
down
up
there.
Fly the drone around and wait for it.
Yeah. And got down
And
there.
did you
Really
say where
didn't
we were
realize.
headed?
Didn't realize. What? So we're going south. We're
Simpson Reef.
We're at Sunset Bay, and we're going to hike down to Simpson Reef, where there's some seals, sea lions, etc.
A lot.
And there's a nice. And we were
It is
hiking
pretty.
down the
Pacific
Oregon,
Trail.
No, Oregon Coast Trail.
Oregon Coast Trail. That's correct.
Which actually, there's a trail the entire length of the Oregon coast. So we walked a segment of it. And being that the entire Oregon coast is a state park.
Yeah.
And
You made the map.
so we hike down there, and we get down there, and we're like, where's Josh? Where's Josh? I pull out my GPS that I had tracking on me, and I look at the trip computer. It's like 4 miles. I'm like, 4 miles, and we've been going for an hour. Totally lost track of time. Realize, get down there, it's like, oh, he's been down here. He's gone.
Well, we drove up, so we went up there and we waited, so I stopped and I picked up the same map you had.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and I make the comment, this isn't 2.25 miles, and I drive up there, and then I look at it again. Yeah, this is closer to 4 miles.
Yeah.
And so we got up there, and I tried to fly the drone, but too much wind. So I packed it back up. We got some little video, little pictures, and we decided to keep driving down to the Cape, all the way down the bottom.
Yeah.
So we went down there, and we were walking around for a little while, and then we thought, well, they're fast. We've been down here for a while. We pulled back into the viewpoint. Maybe you were there. Nope. So we continued on.
So we didn't make it all the way down to the Cape.
No.
But we made it to the Simpson Reef observation deck.
Wildlife viewpoint.
And the reef is out there a bit.
Oh, but it was pretty cool.
You can hear them like they're right underneath you. But at least you can at least identify that there are animals out there. So got some shots, and then got a cute little picture of Megan while she was taking a shot with the prime lens. And then we realized it's like, okay, let's get going back north. So we then hiked back up here.
Yeah.
Just wait. So you had gotten more firewood.
got
Started up
more
the fire.
firewood.
Sat there.
Burned through it.
We walk up, and I'm like, I think I even walked up and I immediately said I read the map wrong.
Yes, you did.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, I read the map wrong. I did. It was my error. It was still a wonderful hike. The dogs had some fun.
We got back, and now we're here.
We got
recapping.
tired dogs.
Tired dogs. Lots of tired dogs.
We have had a really fun 2 weeks. Things we've definitely learned from it is the way we set up our food, totally better. The equipment we had, excellent. Awesome trailer, a lot of fun.
Forest Service maps are a
We need to do
necessity.
better with our maps. We need to be better prepared with our maps. We need the paper maps that are updated, that year's Forest Service maps. We need to figure out how to update our GPS devices to have the correct roads. Maybe even upgrade the devices. I'm tempted to upgrade mine, figure out something better, so that we can do a little bit better manipulation or routing or whatnot. And the Oregon BDR, the group behind it.
That's another long conversation that we're not going to have today.
I don't know, but we need whoever's behind the thing, we need to have better stuff that we can be self-reliant.
Yeah.
And not be wholly reliant upon somebody else's perceived route. We need to know how we can get around stuff, how we can get to services, know our distances better and whatnot. So,
And the plan.
but all in all, it was
And then
fun.
we've got tonight. We're going to chill out. We're going to relax. We're going to have some dinner. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get on the road and we're going to drive from Coos Bay all the way back to Tacoma, Washington. And then we're going to eat some food and we're going to fall asleep.
And then it's rig scrubbing
And then
day.
we're going to clean the gear.
Yeah, epic scrubbing day.
Yeah.
Joanne and I will tackle all of our kitchen
And
that's been
you picked
used
up a
and
Costco
abused.
set of toothbrushes for the kids to clean the trailer, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's going to be great.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
That's going to be great.
And then we go home
Yep.
today.
And this has worked out pretty good.
We're already well. And
Oh, totally forgot. We actually had a fun. So, on the way north, before we start, day -1. Day -1.
no, day minus 0.
Day -1.
Day -1.
Oh, day
Right.
-1,
Day
sorry.
0 was Spanaway to Walla Walla.
Yeah, day minus
Day
1.
-1. So, Josh is in Spanaway, and we had sent our gear up with him because he visits Portland way too often on business trips. And we need to get ourselves and the dog up to Spanaway from Portland. We don't own a car. So we had booked an Amtrak train.
Overland bound members 1,500 and they don't own a car.
Hi.
But I
We're
got my
weird.
badge on something. It's on a trailer.
Anyways, the train.
So we got on a train. I think hopefully that time lapse works out.
Maybe I'll put it right
Maybe
here.
you'll put a little bit of it in there. But had a fun ride north. Amtrak actually has pretty decent service for the dogs. You pay for them as an extra passenger. That kept throwing me because they're like $5. And I'm like, oh, the dog. So went north on that. That was kind of fun. Got in. You thought we were going to come in a little bit later, but it all worked out.
And we did the shopping that day too
Picked up our supplies.
for the first leg.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, this has been a fun trip. 2 weeks. Nobody's killed anybody.
And we're
Yet.
already planning. We're
We're already
already
planning the next year.
Next year's Utah.
Yeah.
Utah people.
Yeah.
Moab.
And so far,
Arches.
we haven't repeated any of the mistakes we made last year. We've identified our mistakes we made this year. We're thinking about corrective action, and we'll find out what mistakes we make next year.
Also note.
Stay tuned for the mistakes we make next year in living color.